I think the Honda CB500X is the perfect beginner adventure bike because it's perfect for the types of adventures that beginner adventure riders take. And today we're going to prove it by going on what I would call a typical beginner adventure ride. And we are going to take this thing on some twisties, hit up part of the Oregon BDR, and work our way back home today in what I would call a typical new rider adventure. And I'm going to show you just what this severely underrated bike is capable of. It is a beautiful late summer day, mid-70s, gorgeous weather, great day to get out on what I would call a typical beginner adventure ride. And along the way, I want to showcase some of the amazing features of what I think is, again, a severely underrated motorcycle. Because this thing is a joy to ride, far more capable than the specs let on that it will be. And it's really a great kind of jack-of-all-trades Swiss Army knife of a motorcycle. Whether you want to carve up twisties, which is what we're about to do, tackle gravel roads, go deep into the forest, go across the country, whatever it is, this bike will pretty much do it. Which is great for beginners because they don't know what they like to do yet, and this bike gives you the opportunity to sample everything. It is the cereal sampler box of motorcycles. It does it all, but you don't get as much of what you want as you'd like, probably. Is that an apt metaphor? I have no idea. And my favorite thing about this bike is it's just a joy to ride. It's just so easy. It's comfortable. It's easy to ride. It's forgiving. It doesn't demand much of you as a rider. You don't have to think about it. You can just ride. That was a big bug right in front of my eye. But anyway, let's do some twisting. Decent scenery up here. Although, you know, there's usually more water. Cool. Anyway, continuing on. We're a ways further up now onto this single lane. Yes, it's still paved, and I can hear you. I can hear your voice. How can you claim it's an adventure ride if you never leave the pavement? Give it time. It's not like we're not in the forest. It's beautiful up here. No cell phone. We're a long ways from home. But there's more to come. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I got you. So I tried to film this video yesterday. In fact, I did film this video yesterday, but I went to a very different place. And I got stopped by a closure because of wildfire. So the road I wanted, I was trying to get up to the top of Dork Mountain, and the road was closed because of a fire. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna go to this other really cool overlook that I know, and I got stopped by a logging dude. They were actively logging on the road I was trying to ride. Look at this spot, man. Oh, there's Broken Bridge. That's where that is. Damn, okay, I've heard about this place, but I've never actually been up here this far, which is embarrassing considering I grew up not that far from here. But there it is. The floods took that one out, huh? That's neat and unique, huh? Pretty cool. So maybe I should get off this one, judging by how well the last one worked. But anyway, and then I tried to work around a back way to the second place, and I just couldn't get there. And so I was still going to make the video, but I was trying out a new helmet setup too with a new microphone, and the audio was awful. So I guess I had to get back out again today and ride more to make the video again. But so I know that my point is proven because I proved it yesterday, getting out and having what I would call a typical new adventure rider adventure. But we're gonna do it again today on camera, so you know what I'm saying. Well, I haven't actually come at the BDR from this direction before. That's kind of gorgeous. What a nice day. I'm really glad I'm out riding, not sitting at my computer editing because all the footage from yesterday sucks. So I guess blessing in disguise. Anyway, BDR is right up here. I'm sure of it. I haven't been saying that for the last hour or anything, probably. Okay, this is it, for reals. I recognize it. But let's just verify. This is the only huge intersection up here, but that right there I think is the Oregon BDR, and will take us to Detroit. So we are, as you can see, halfway. Actually, we're almost to the end of section 5, so the road we want is not the one we came in on, but the farthest left is that one. Now the actual adventure part begins, the part I promised you. So when I say the 500X is the perfect bike, perfect beginner adventure bike, for the types of adventures that beginner adventure riders take. Which is quite a mouthful. I don't think that would fit on a t-shirt. Maybe an acronym? The types of adventures I'm talking about are like this right here, this road. Your typical new adventure rider wants to be able to get places and then be able to get off on some gravel roads, on some, you know, easy to ride, cool stuff that takes you into the backcountry to see cool things. But they're not really looking to, you know, do stump jumping or crazy single track or, you know, I don't know, to borrow a phrase from the Grisbait Traction E-Rag guys, dent their skid plate and shit their diaper. That's not what you're after, right? You just want to get up into the woods, you want to explore, and you want to know you have a bike that'll get you there, get you through. And if you come across something a little bit more difficult, a washout or something, that the bike will be able to get you through that, right? But it's not necessarily something you're seeking out as a brand new rider, in my experience. And for that kind of riding, the throw the bags on the bike and go up a gravel road, maybe you go 5 miles, maybe you go 20 miles up to a campground, maybe you're just exploring, maybe you're doing what I'm doing now, which is getting between two places that you know, but in a fun way, over the back, over the top of the mountain. That was the kind of stuff that I did when I first started, and it's actually what I did yesterday was set out to recreate one of my very first off-road dual sport rides on this bike. I just got stopped halfway up. And for that kind of riding, exploring, off-road adventuring, this bike is fantastic. It's fantastic. And it's fantastic because it is so easy to ride. It's a very forgiving motorcycle. I legitimately wish this was the bike I bought when I started riding. I started on a Honda CB500X, which is the same motor. It's just a motor, it's just not as tall of a bike. And I did that because I thought this X was way too tall, which cracks me up now because, oh, and it was like $400 more. But the too tall thing cracks me up now because this is the easiest bike I own to get on and off of. I don't have to step on the peg. I can just swing my leg over. I can get my feet down so easily, push it around so easily. And I'm not any taller. In fact, I'm probably shorter than I was then, but it just intimidated me. It's easy to ride, and it's capable enough. I think people look at its stats, and to be honest, to be 100% fair, this is a tall street bike. It is. It's a street bike. It has a street bike motor. It's got mostly street bike suspension. It's got 5 inches of travel, but it's got a very comfortable seating position, and it's got enough to get you through most of what a new rider is going to want to do. And it'll do it even bone stock, and we're proving that today on a motorcycle that has no mods other than this ram mount right here. It's even got the terrible, terrible stock tires, which I'll show you. See, so easy to get off of. I don't know why. I don't know why it scared me. It's just so much higher than everything else I was sitting on, I think. These are the Dunlop Mix Tours, Trail Max Mix Tours. That is a street tire with like a sideways tread pattern, kind of. It's a 90-10 tire at best, 90% road, 10% off-road. But here we are in the gravel. We're not going fast. We're not hauling ass. I have no mods on this bike. No protection, no skid plate, no hand guards, nothing. If I was going to keep it, I would probably do skid plate, hand guards, and new tires for sure. But we're out here demonstrating what it can do in stock form and how I think as a new adventure rider, you would do well to enjoy the capabilities of this bike. You would do well not to overlook it because the stats are not impressive. 5 inches of suspension travel is not impressive for an adventure bike, but it's enough for the types of adventures that new adventure riders go on. It's capable enough for a ride like this. It really is. It's beyond capable. Like we could handle some more difficult stuff if we had to, if we come across a washout or something. And the other thing I love about this bike for new adventure riders is it is so versatile. I like to call it a tabula rasa. Yes, that's Latin. It means blank slate. It is what you put into it. It is what you want it to be. You want to carve up twisties? I've seen people destroy twisties on this bike in ways you wouldn't even imagine possible on such a low-end beginner motorcycle, as it were. You want to take on tough terrain? I've seen these bikes do it. They beat them to hell at ride adventures. They take them on Baja trips all the time. People have done the Oregon BDR on these bikes. You want to go cross country and tour all over the place? It can do that too. This bike can do everything. Or the thing people always say when they're shopping for their first bike or an entry-level bike is, what happens when I outgrow it? I don't want to outgrow it. And okay, that's true in some cases. Like, no one's suggesting you go out and buy a PW50. You know, you're gonna outgrow that in a day, if you even fit on it in the first place. The you're gonna outgrow it argument doesn't hold a lot of weight with me. And that's really for two reasons. One, say you don't want to outgrow a CB500X, so you just go buy a 10 or a 700 instead. Okay, now you're on a very tall, very top-heavy more powerful, harder to control motorcycle, learning how to get out and do stuff that probably intimidates you anyway. You're gonna get out and experience your first uneven ground and stuff on a bike that's too tall or that you're not used to the height of, and it's gonna scare you. It's gonna screw up your progress. It's not gonna help you build confidence. You need a motorcycle that's gonna help you build confidence, and so a bike like this is the ultimate confidence inspiring motorcycle. I love riding this thing because I don't have to think about it. I can't get in trouble on it. It just goes where I want it to. But the only limitation right now, the way I can get in trouble here, is just pushing these tires too far because they don't grip for shit going around these corners on gravel and stuff. And the other argument I have to that I don't want to outgrow it thing is, you know, you can sell motorcycles, right? Like, you don't have to keep every bike you buy forever. And yeah, there's cost involved, but if you pick up a used 500X, ride it for a year or two until you feel like you've really outgrown it, then you can sell it for, I don't know, a few $100s to $1,000 less than you paid for it. And that holds true for most dual sport motorcycles. They just really hold their value, at least around here. And so, you know, what would you pay for a couple years of riding on a confidence-inspiring motorcycle that's going to help you build your skills? Because I would pay $500 to $1,000, right? It's worth it to me. And then you take what you get for selling the bike and you apply it to the bike that you're now ready for, versus jumping into that bike and either, you know, being scared by it, hurting yourself, breaking the motorcycle, or worst of all, well, getting hurt is probably worst of all. Second to worst of all, ending up like one of those people that are selling those bikes with 200 miles on them fully farkled for a ridiculous price, like how I bought my 450L, because you jumped on a bike that was too powerful for you and you just thought that's what riding was like. You just weren't ready for it. The other great thing about starting on a bike that's less powerful, that's maybe not your ultimate end goal dream bike, is that when you start to outgrow that bike, when your skills exceed its ability, one, you'll appreciate it, you'll understand, you'll know it in a way that you wouldn't understand when you just sort of started to get the hang of the harder to ride bike. And two, man, you'll appreciate that new bike. You'll super appreciate, if you buy this and ride it for 2 years and you're like, okay, I'm ready, and you buy a T7, you're gonna really appreciate that T7 in a way that you wouldn't have appreciated if you just jumped on it with no experience at all in the first place. Like, you'll understand the difference, and that'll be awesome. But back to the whole versatility thing, man. That's why I love this bike, because you don't know what you want to do as a new rider. You don't know what kind of riding you want to do. You don't know what kind of rider you're going to want to be. And a bike like this lets you try it all. You can try carving up twisties. You can try touring across the states or the country. You can try a bunch of off-road stuff. You can put better tires on it and tear up a single track trail if you want. I've seen video. People do it. You can do almost anything you want on a bike like this. It is all about possibilities. There are very few closed doors on the 500X. And there aren't many motorcycles that allow you to do as much, especially so cheaply. So you may buy this as an adventure bike and discover that you really love touring. Like, you just want to ride on the highway for long distances all the time, and you end up buying a Goldwing or a Concourse or something. You don't know. You don't know. This bike lets you try it all. I like that about it. But most importantly, back to my main point, a ride like this, I get out and explore the forest, and we're on the BDR. Like, this is not, it's not nothing. Like, lots of people have taken on this route, and it's not the easiest route. Admittedly, this isn't a difficult section. It's the closest section to the house or where we were riding, and I just wanted to use it to make a point. But this bike can totally handle adventures like this. If you want to get out and do multi-day camping adventures in the backcountry, see if you like that, great bike to start on. Great bike to start on. How do I know? We're doing it right now. I'm not camping, but I have camped off this before. It does just fine. Man, it's nice right now. Last time I was here, it was literally 97 degrees. The day we came through here, it was very hot that week. The thing I like about this bike on gravel is you can't really spin the wheel unless you're really trying. You don't really need traction control because it doesn't really have the power to break it loose. Even on these street tires, it's pretty rare, if you stay in the right gear, that you're spinning the rear unless you're doing it on purpose. And even then, it's like it takes more effort than you would expect. We're coming in the back way to Detroit, having a beginner adventure, dual sport adventure on the best beginner ADV bike in the world, probably. Best one in my garage. Well, I mean, the 300 is pretty cool too. Here we are on the backside of Detroit Lake. Mischief managed. Yeah, it was a couple hours of riding to get home, but it's all highway, all pavement from here. But what a great little day trip. What a great ride that basically any rider could do. get out, explore the forest, see the river, see the lake, check out some cool campsites, take some fun roads, and cut across a part of the state that many people don't see because you're cutting between two major highways that most people are taking. And all of it on a very beginner-friendly, easy-to-ride, inexpensive motorcycle. The super underrated, in my opinion, Honda CB500X. And this is a bike that I have personally disparaged on many occasions in the past before I got this much time on it. And I gotta say, on paper it doesn't look amazing, but it is so much more in the sum of its parts, and my full review of this motorcycle is coming very soon. My goal is to get it to 1,000 miles, just to make sure I have a real solid grasp, although I'm starting to feel like I understand it pretty well before I actually review it. But we're getting close. We're at 822. We'll probably be at least 900 by the time we get home. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank my channel members and patrons who make content like this possible. Channel members and patrons get early access to videos, they get merchandise discounts, and they get exclusive access to the annual Dork Campout, which was a blast this year. Make sure you check out that video if you haven't. You can become a patron for as little as $10 a year, and you can become a YouTube channel member for $2 a month. There's a join button right below the video. And if you don't want to commit to like a monthly donation, which I get, I totally get. I would never donate to someone like me every month. I am just too wildly inconsistent and frankly unpredictable. But you do want to support the channel. You want to support some more dorky motorcycling shenanigans. You can use my links to Rocky Mountain ATV, to Revzilla, to Amazon, to Motocamp Nerd, and to GiantLukeMoto.com. If you click that link when you're buying stuff, whatever you're planning on buying anyway, I get a little commission. All you have to do is click the link, go to the site, buy it as you normally would, cost you nothing, and I get a little bonus, a little boost, and that's been a huge part of what's allowed me to continue to do this. So thank you to those of you who continue to click on those affiliate links. And if you happen to think of it when you're shopping in one of those places, I sure would appreciate it. But I'm gonna head into Detroit and then take the long, twisty back roads home. So for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.